Thank you so much. I'm very, very excited to be here. I was so excited that the theme was The Stranger, because that is a book-buying demographic that I really need to reach. Although I'm very excited, the Venn diagram of my life means that I do have, in addition to strangers, many friends and family here, including from many Thanksgivings past, so I'm excited that they're here. And I'm missing a softball game tonight. My youngest daughter, and my trademark cheer on the sidelines has been when my daughter does something particularly fantastic, like hit a home run or hit a catch a line drive. I say, that is good parenting. And, so I would like to acknowledge, whatever you think of what's to come, I would like to acknowledge that my parents drove all the way up from Pasadena, and they're right over here. And that is good parenting. So, I am going to read from my book, Listen, which just happens to be for sale over there. And I'm just going to read the middle chunk of it. So in fact, if you want to hear the rest of the story, you are going to have to at least secretly read. So I'm going to skip into the middle of it, and then I'm going to cut off before the end of it. As my father pointed out, it would be a good story to read because there's a lot of missing water in the story, or water that arrives. Specifically, it's about a town that gets flooded in central Massachusetts, not far from where Jane is now. And it's in the 50s, and there's a love triangle. There's 3 teenagers, 2 twins, 2 twin girls, and a boy, Sam. The girls are named Esther and Bunny, and we're going to hear about them. Right now, there's a bit of a crisis. Something has been forgotten in the old house. The girls' house has been submerged under the water, and they've been staying at Sam's house. But suddenly, Sam's father is returning. All the parents are trying to go find a new job, and suddenly things now have to happen a little bit more quickly than they planned. Specifically, it was late Friday night, about 8 hours before Sam's dad was due in from Boston. Esther slept fitfully in the new house. Her bed at Sam's house was more comfortable, but the house was more noisy. Water had muffled so much before. Here, Sam's many, many siblings coughed or padded to the bathroom. Stairs creaked. The screen door flapped once in the wind gently, and then twice. And then Esther opened her eyes, looked across to see if her sister Bunny was having trouble sleeping too, and saw that she was gone. Esther got to the window just in time to see Bunny's white form running up the road alone. Esther dressed and tried to find a silent path down the stairs, an impossible task in this old house, and yet no one roused, so accustomed were they to the old house's constant creaking and settling at night, or, Esther thought, to Sam's constant coming and going at night. He had told her he was bound for the priesthood, and so Esther went straight to where he had told her about this supposedly divine calling, the park, the picnic shelter, which was also the only place he had kissed her, Esther, that one and only time. She knew his landmarks. It's just a ring, sweets, Sam was saying as Esther arrived out of the shadows. Esther tried to work her face into one of concern or confusion, but was only halfway there when Bunny cried and flew into her arms. We were going to get married, Bunny sobbed. We are going to get married, but we were leaving tonight because his dad was kind of... Esther, he pulled away to explain. Sam gave me a ring, but I've lost it. Your what? Esther asked. Showing surprise was unexpectedly easy, perhaps because she really was surprised. They really were here, and so was she. You can't leave, Esther said to Sam. We're not done packing the house. Your father's not home. Our parents are in Albany. All irrelevant reasons, and yet she seemed to have a limitless supply. The water hasn't reached our house yet. The reservoir is not full. We'll be seniors in the fall. Homecoming is in October. It's okay if your date is from another school, another state. Both twins were in love with Sam, but only one had gotten the ring. Esther wasn't crying now. We're only 17, she said. Bunny stared at her. Esther stared at Sam, bless you. She delivered the speech to the back of his head. He was staring at the water. Esther said one last thing to Sam. You were going to teach me how to swim. Sam turned now to Bunny. Are you sure? Because with the water rising, we had to get out of your old house so fast. Are you sure you took it with you when you left your parents' house? I told you not to leave it there, not to take it out all the time. I didn't, Bunny cried. Ask Esther. He didn't. Esther didn't move. I mean, I did, Bunny said. I didn't take it out much, but sometimes, but I always put it back. Always. And I know I took the box with me when we moved over to your house. You're sure? Sam asked. I know, Bunny said, because I thought I should check it, but I can't because Esther was right there. Neither Bunny nor Sam would look at her now. Now, Esther said, I'm here. At some point, Sam would have to talk to her. Tonight, tomorrow in Boston, in Albany, inside a church, outside someday. I'm so sorry, Esther, Bunny said. I shouldn't have. It was just that I wanted to tell you so much and show you the ring, but I couldn't. We agreed just until. I don't remember you carrying around anything like a ring, Esther said. Oh, of course you don't. I was afraid you, and well, I'm certain Bunny looked at Sam, at the water, even finally at Esther. I looked everywhere today, Sam. Everywhere. It's not at your house. It's not in the yard. I haven't checked your siblings' rooms. I think it's still back at our old house under the water. Wait, we'll just get another one, Sam said. Esther studied him, that tiny ring. It had cost him everything. Not right away, no, but we'll get another one. Sam, Esther said. She could feel her heart breaking for him, but when he looked up, she felt something else, something like nothing. Sam looked down again at his watch, then back down at the road toward the flooded town. The water's high, Esther said, as Sam paddled, not sure if she was being mean or if she was terrified. They took a canoe into town. Chimneys, antennas, decabled telephone poles teetered here and there like the last guests in a darkened ballroom. Bunny stared into the black water as though she'd be able to spot the ring amid the reflected stars and shards of moon. At least your home was near the top of its street, Sam said. The water can't be as deep. No, it can't be, Bunny said. And I kept it in the medicine cabinet. Esther invisibly avoided a glance from Bunny. In a tin on the second floor. There was a window right there, Band-Aid tin. I don't remember if I left. I think I did. I think I left the window open. She turned to Esther. It's so silly, but I remember thinking, oh, the water's going to come in all over the floor and make a mess, and won't that be a bother? Hush now, Bunny, Sam whispered so tenderly that Esther shivered. Then Esther saw the shortwave antenna that had been atop the neighbor's house. That's it, next door, Esther said and gripped Bunny's hand because she couldn't not. They floated closer. Sam poked his paddle down and found the roof. That's good. The water's not too high, not yet. He had Bunny tell him again where the ring was, then stood and began to undress. Even in the moonlight, they could see the goosebumps rise across his skin. He started to undo his pants, but stopped. I'll just be a second. He paddled to the neighbor's antenna, tied a triple knot. No drifting, he mock scolded. He had a crooked tooth, just the one, only apparent if he smiled at you, or if you kissed him back. They all studied the water. It was scarier at night, but it was also better at night. During the daytime, we saw things, oily slicks, discordant colors, orange, green, blue, the occasional turtle. Once Esther saw a snake and toys, worst of all were the dolls. At night, though, you could see almost nothing. I'm just going to swim back over there, Sam said. I'm going to dive down into the window, open up the cabinet, and then back here. It's so dark, Esther said, still uncertain how she was going to stop this. Sam spoke quickly. We've got the moonlight, and if the cabinet is close to the window, maybe I can just like reach in. You can, Bunny said. The bathroom wasn't big. The medicine cabinet was right there. Sam carefully left the boat. Okay, he said. He turned and swam over to the submerged house. He found the roof with his feet and went back at them, still grinning. Then he slid beneath the water. Sam! Esther screamed, but it was too late. He popped up a moment later, sputtering, wrong window! Down again, a longer minute this time, and he splashed back to the surface. I can't reach it from outside, but the window's open. I'm going to swim inside. Don't, Bunny cried. Be careful. Esther felt sick. What happened when he didn't find the ring? What if something worse happened? Watch out, she yelled, but he was already underwater. Esther felt sick. They were twins. They weren't identical. For one, Bunny could swim, and Esther could not. For another, Esther knew where the ring was at that moment, and Bunny did not. For tonight, they were almost strangers. Sam took a deep breath, and they listened very close.